Sometimes life doesn't break us with a loud crash. Sometimes it wears us down with a quiet erosion, a slow drift away from who we truly are. You wake up, you work, you fulfill responsibilities, you check the boxes of life. Yet deep inside, something feels hollow, untouched, unsatisfied. You are surviving, but you are not truly living. There comes a moment when the quiet ache becomes too loud to ignore, a moment when you realize you are not lost because you made a single wrong decision, but because you forgot to stay awake to your own life. You forgot that every day, every breath, every choice is an opportunity to become new. This is not a judgment. It is simply the way life numbs us, little by little, if we are not vigilant. It is the human tendency to drift into unconsciousness, into patterns of safety and comfort, until our spirit becomes small enough to fit inside the expectations of the world around us. But what if you could reclaim yourself? What if, in just 7 days, you could reignite the fire that was never truly extinguished, only buried under layers of routine, fear, and forgetting? Rebirth is not a dramatic event reserved for saints and sages. It is a daily practice, a sacred remembering that you were born not to survive passively, but to live fully, vibrantly, and awake. The Buddha taught that the greatest miracle is not to walk on water or levitate in the air, but simply to walk on the earth, fully awake. This is the invitation before you now, not to add more to your life, but to return to it. Not to climb higher, but to dive deeper. To remember who you are beneath the noise and the numbness. Imagine this next week as a sacred retreat into your own life. Not an escape from your responsibilities, but a deeper engagement with your soul. A deliberate act of turning inward, shedding what no longer serves you, and stepping back into your true form, unburdened, fearless, alive. Each day will be a chapter in this quiet revolution. A day to break an old pattern, a day to build a new strength, a day to reconnect your mind and body and spirit, piece by piece, breath by breath. There is no magic in this journey, only the miracle of your own presence, your own choice to show up differently. This path does not require you to be perfect. It only requires you to be willing. Willing to let go of who you think you are supposed to be. Willing to step into the unknown, not because you have no fear, but because you are tired of letting fear define you. Rebirth is not a linear process. It is not clean or easy or predictable. It is messy. It is sacred. It is alive. It demands patience and fierceness in equal measure. It asks you to forgive yourself 1,000 times, to begin again 1,001 times. Seneca once wrote, "Every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end." Today can be that end. And this week can be your new beginning. You are not starting from nothing. You are starting with everything you need already inside you. The wisdom of your struggles, the resilience of your heart, the unspoken dreams that have refused to die no matter how long you ignored them. This journey will not transform you into someone else. It will reveal the true self you have always carried within, the self that was never broken, never small, only hidden. Over the next 7 days, you will burn away old habits not by force, but by light. You will forge strength in your body not for appearance, but for endurance. You will rewire your mind not to impress others, but to liberate yourself from outdated fears. You will cultivate a presence that commands respect because it radiates authenticity, not because it demands attention. You will learn to act relentlessly, not out of desperation, but out of devotion to your own becoming. You will build systems of mastery, not to control life, but to flow more freely with it. And when the week ends, you will not be a different person. You will be more fully, gloriously yourself. The life you seek is not waiting in some distant future. It is here, now, quietly knocking at the door of your heart. All it asks is that you open. Day 1. Embrace the death of the old self. Change always demands a death. Not a death of the body, but a death of identity, a shedding of the false layers you've worn so long you forgot they were never your true skin. If you desire rebirth, you must first stand before the funeral pyre of the self you no longer wish to carry forward. Today is that day. Today you stop negotiating with your limits, your excuses, your old stories about who you are and what you're capable of. Today, you embrace the death of the old self. It may sound dramatic, but it is a quiet, necessary revolution. Growth is not additive, it is subtractive. You don't become your true self by stacking on achievements or accolades. You reveal your true self by letting go of illusions, fears, outdated beliefs. As Michelangelo once said about sculpting David, I simply chipped away everything that was not him. In the same way, today is about chipping away everything that is not truly you. Look honestly at the life you have built around yourself. Which parts of it feel heavy, constrictive, lifeless? What habits have calcified into prisons? What fears have written the script of your actions? What identities do you cling to because you believe they keep you safe, even though they suffocate your spirit? There is no shame in seeing these things. In fact, there is immense courage in finally acknowledging them. The Buddha taught that attachment is the root of suffering. Yet most of us cling not only to external possessions, but to internal narratives. I am not good enough. I am not strong enough. I am too broken to change. These are not truths. They are inherited scripts written by fear, trauma, or a society that profits from your doubt. Today, you begin the sacred act of setting fire to those scripts. There is a mourning that accompanies transformation. Part of you may grieve the familiarity of who you've been. Part of you may cling to the known, even if the known is small, painful, or stagnant. Understand that grieving is natural. It is the mind's attempt to protect itself from the unknown. But you are not here to be ruled by fear. You are here to awaken. You must decide now. Will you build your life around fear, or will you build it around truth? Begin with ruthless honesty. Name the patterns that have kept you stagnant. Name the crutches you have leaned on instead of standing in your own strength. Name the habits, the thought loops, the environments, and even the relationships that reinforce the version of yourself you are ready to leave behind. Do not flinch. Do not justify. Do not sugarcoat. Take a piece of paper or open a blank document and write down everything you are ready to release. Every excuse, every behavior, every belief that no longer serves the life you are stepping into. This is not a list of guilt. It is a list of liberation. It is a declaration of sovereignty over your own life. And then, once you have written them all, perform a simple but powerful act. Destroy the list. Burn it safely. Rip it into pieces. Bury it under the soil. Mark it with a ritual that tells your subconscious, this is over. I am not carrying this into my new life. This act is not superstition. It is symbolic alchemy. By giving physical form to your internal decision, you imprint your mind with the certainty of change. Understand that the old self will not die quietly. It will whisper temptations of comfort, safety, and familiarity. It will stir up doubt and anxiety. It will remind you of every past failure. But you are not obligated to listen. You are no longer loyal to the self that keeps you small. Today is not about being perfect. It is about being willing. Willing to walk into the unknown with nothing but your breath and your bare, beating heart. Willing to trust that beyond the death of the old self lies a life more vibrant and true than anything you have yet experienced. Think of the phoenix, the mythical bird that must immolate itself before it can rise anew. The death is not a failure, it is a beginning. The ashes are not the end, they are the fertile soil of rebirth. This is your first act of courage, to say, I will no longer live in the shadows of who I could be. To say, the cost of staying the same is too high. I choose to evolve. Evolution is not an accident. It is a conscious, relentless shedding of all that no longer aligns with your highest self. As you move through today, remain vigilant. Notice when the old self tries to pull you back. Notice the thoughts that say, "It's too hard," or "I'm not ready," or "maybe later." Notice, but do not argue. Simply smile, acknowledge the voice, and move forward anyway. You are not obligated to be loyal to your former limitations. Transformation is not a singular moment. It is 1,000 small acts of rebellion against the inertia of who you have been. It is the willingness to choose differently even when it feels awkward, even when it feels uncomfortable, even when it feels terrifying. As you embrace the death of the old self, be gentle with yourself. Change is hard. Your mind will resist because it was designed for survival, not fulfillment. Thank your mind for trying to protect you, but make it clear you are no longer surviving. You are choosing to live. You are not erasing your past. You are honoring it. Every mistake, every wound, every false start, they were part of the soil that grew the seed of awakening now sprouting within you. Without them, you would not be standing at this threshold. Honor the journey, but do not camp there. The ancient masters, from Buddha to Christ to Rumi, all spoke of the necessity of death before resurrection. The death of ego, the death of attachment, the death of fear. It is the universal pattern of all transformation. Let go, then rise. Today, walk with the solemn joy of someone attending their own funeral and their own birth. Release the version of yourself that clung to safety at the expense of greatness. Release the smallness, the fear, the resignation. Stand in the sacred fire of change and let the old self burn away. When doubts arise, remember, the caterpillar does not resist the cocoon because it fears becoming a butterfly. It surrenders, trusting in the wisdom encoded in its very being. The wisdom for your transformation is already inside you. Your task is not to invent it, but to uncover it. Today, embrace the death of the old self not as a tragedy, but as a triumph. Not as a loss, but as a liberation. Not as an ending, but as a breathtaking beginning. You are standing at the threshold. Step through. The life that awaits you on the other side is beyond anything you have ever imagined. And it begins the moment you dare to let go. Day 2. Forge strength through the body. Your body is not just a vessel. It is a reflection of your choices, your resilience, and your relationship with life itself. It holds every story you have ever lived, every triumph, and every fear you have ever carried. Today, you begin the sacred work of rebuilding that relationship, not out of vanity, but out of reverence. To forge strength through the body is not simply to lift weights or run miles. It is to reclaim the physical temple, through which your spirit engages with the world. For too long, many of us treat the body either as a source of shame or as an afterthought. We feed it thoughtlessly, exhaust it carelessly, or neglect it in favor of distractions that numb rather than nourish. Yet the wisdom traditions, whether Buddhist monks in rigorous physical discipline, Stoic philosophers embracing voluntary hardship, or indigenous healers teaching reverence for the body, have always known the truth. Your body is the ground of your awakening. Strengthening the body is not about conforming to external standards. It is about clearing away the sluggishness, the stagnation, the dullness that clouds your energy and dims your awareness. It is about tuning your physical form to a higher frequency, where vitality flows freely and life is met with a steady, grounded presence. When you move with power, you think with clarity. When your body is resilient, your mind follows its lead. There is a deep connection between physical discipline and mental liberation. In strengthening the body, you are not simply building muscles. You are cultivating virtues, patience, perseverance, focus, humility. Every rep, every stretch, every breath taken in exertion is an act of devotion to your own becoming. It is an embodied prayer, a wordless affirmation that says, I am willing to inhabit this life fully. Do not mistake this journey for self-punishment. You are not fighting your body. You are befriending it again. You are learning to listen, to challenge, to celebrate what it can do rather than resent what it is not. The Buddha himself taught the middle way, not indulgence, not denial, but a respectful care of the body as a vehicle for awakening. Abuse and neglect are two sides of the same ignorance. Mindful strength is the path of wisdom. Today, you begin to dismantle the false stories about your body. The stories that say, "I'm too old, I'm too weak, it's too late." These are lies whispered by fear, not truths spoken by your essence. Your body, no matter its current condition, holds infinite potential for regeneration. Science has shown us that muscles can grow, flexibility can increase, stamina can expand, even into advanced age. What matters is not where you start, but the spirit with which you begin. Commit to simple, clear actions. Move daily. It does not need to be grandiose. A walk taken with full presence is more powerful than an hour at the gym done mechanically. Stretch the parts of yourself that have grown rigid, not just your hamstrings, but your habits. Strengthen what has grown weak, not just your arms, but your willpower. Endure beyond what is comfortable, not for suffering's sake, but to rediscover how vast your capacity truly is. You are reclaiming your body as a sacred instrument, not as an object of perfection, but as an ally in your awakening. With each movement, each drop of sweat, each disciplined breath, you are carving away the numbness that has dulled your spirit. You are reminding yourself that you are alive, that life pulses through you, and that you have agency over how fully you inhabit this one wild, precious existence. Do not wait for motivation to arrive. Motivation is a fickle guest. It comes and goes with the weather of emotions. Discipline is the faithful companion you must cultivate. Set a time each day, however small, to move intentionally. Honor it as you would honor a sacred appointment. Do not break promises to yourself lightly. Every time you show up, even when you don't feel like it, you are casting a vote for the new identity you are building. It is important to understand that strength is not one-dimensional. It is not only in how much you can lift or how far you can run. Strength is in the way you stand when life tries to knock you down. It is in the steadiness of your breath under pressure. It is in the grace you show yourself when progress is slow. It is in the refusal to quit simply because results are not immediate. Seneca trained his body with hardship not to chase an aesthetic ideal, but to prepare for life's inevitable adversities. A resilient body is a resilient mind. By voluntarily facing discomfort through physical challenge, you are inoculating yourself against the greater storms that life may bring. You are teaching yourself, at the cellular level, that you can endure, adapt, and prevail. Today, you step onto this path, not to wage war against your body, but to ally with it. To treat it not as a project to fix, but as a sacred space to nourish, to strengthen, to inhabit fully. When you stand tall, when you walk with purpose, when you breathe deeply, you are not simply moving through the world. You are declaring, silently but unmistakably, "I am here. I am alive. I am becoming." Let movement become meditation. Let strength become prayer. Let endurance become poetry. Your body is not a hindrance to awakening. It is the very ground from which your awakening can bloom. Move today not to punish yourself, but to celebrate yourself. Sweat not to atone for past neglect, but to baptize yourself into a new relationship with life. There will be days when it feels heavy, days when the old habits beckon with the false comfort of stillness. Smile at those moments. Recognize them as part of the old life you are shedding. And move anyway. Stretch anyway. Strengthen anyway. Not because it is easy, but because it is sacred. Every step you take today, every movement infused with presence, is an act of rebirth. Every drop of sweat is a letting go of the old numbness. Every breath drawn deeply into your lungs is a reclamation of your rightful vitality. You are not building a body for admiration. You are building a temple for transformation. Forge strength today, not because you must, but because you can. Because your life is too precious to live half asleep. Because your spirit deserves a home that is strong enough to carry its light into the world. Today, forge strength through the body, and in doing so, forge resilience in the soul. Day 3. Rewire the mind for limitless growth. Transformation begins in the mind long before it manifests in the world. Every action you take, every habit you build, every reality you experience, it all begins as a thought, a belief, a silent assumption about who you are and what is possible for you. If you want to grow beyond your current limits, you must first challenge the architecture of your mind. You must dare to dismantle the mental walls that have kept you small, safe, and unseen. The mind is a powerful servant, but a terrible master. Left unchecked, it will build prisons out of past failures, future fears, and inherited limitations. It will convince you that what you have experienced so far is all there can ever be. But your mind is not your destiny. It is a tool, malleable, trainable, infinitely expandable. Today, you reclaim your right to redesign it. Understand this. The brain is not fixed. Neuroplasticity, the ability of the brain to rewire itself, is a truth long known to mystics and now proven by science. Every time you choose a new thought over an old one, every time you act against the grain of your conditioning, you are literally reshaping the pathways of your mind. You are not condemned to be who you have been. You are, at every moment, being invited to become more. To rewire your mind, you must first become conscious of its current programming. Observe your thoughts as if you are watching clouds pass through the sky. Which thoughts energize you? Which drain you? Which ones propel you forward? Which ones bind you in place? Awareness is the first, indispensable step. Without it, you are not changing, you are merely reacting. Notice the patterns. Do you think in terms of scarcity or abundance? Possibility or limitation? Victimhood or agency? Every belief you carry acts as either a bridge to your potential or a barrier against it. Beliefs are not truths. They are agreements you have made, some consciously, many unconsciously, about the nature of reality. The beautiful, terrifying truth is that you can renegotiate those agreements at any time. Begin today by identifying the mental scripts that no longer serve you. The silent mantras of doubt and self-sabotage. The inherited fears whispered by well-meaning parents, teachers, or societies. The silent verdicts you've passed on yourself after past failures. Write them down. See them clearly. They lose much of their power when brought into the light. Then, one by one, challenge them. Ask, is this really true? Who would I be without this belief? What new truth am I willing to embrace instead? Replace the dead scripts with living affirmations, not hollow platitudes, but powerful declarations rooted in who you are choosing to become. I am capable of profound change. I am not defined by my past. My future is shaped by my present choices. I trust myself to rise. Speak these truths aloud. Whisper them when you are afraid. Shout them when you doubt. Let them become the new rhythms that your mind dances to. But rewiring the mind is not only about what you say, it is about what you do. Action solidifies belief. Every time you act in alignment with your new identity, you reinforce its reality within your nervous system. Confidence does not come from thinking, it comes from doing. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the decision that something else, growth, freedom, truth, is more important than fear. Today, commit to small but decisive acts that align with your limitless self. Speak up where you once stayed silent. Move where you once hesitated. Create where you once procrastinated. Each act is a vote for the new mind you are building. Understand too that the mind is shaped by what it consumes. Garbage in, garbage out. Nourish your mind with high-quality inputs, books that challenge and elevate you, conversations that inspire and stretch you, media that uplifts and informs you. Guard your mental diet with the same vigilance you would guard your physical health. Toxic inputs poison your thinking. Uplifting inputs expand it. Meditation can also be a powerful tool, not as a spiritual performance, but as a practice of returning again and again to awareness. Meditation is not about emptying the mind. It is about seeing the mind clearly, and thus regaining your power to choose which thoughts you entertain and which you let pass. Even 5 minutes a day of mindful breathing, of observing thoughts without judgment, can create powerful shifts over time. Remember that rewiring is not instantaneous. The mind clings to the familiar because it equates familiarity with safety. There will be moments when the old patterns roar, back with a vengeance, whispering, "This is too hard. Nothing is changing. You're fooling yourself." Smile at these voices. Recognize them as echoes of the old architecture crumbling under the weight of your new choices. Do not argue with them. Do not believe them. Move forward anyway. Growth is not linear. It is a spiral. You will revisit old fears, old doubts, but each time from a higher vantage point. What once paralyzed you will one day barely stir. A ripple in your mind. Trust the process. Trust yourself. Today, you are not just thinking differently. You are becoming different. You are stepping out of the prison of inherited limits and into the open sky of your own potential. You are no longer a passive observer of your mind. You are its conscious architect. Let the old walls fall. Let the old scripts fade into silence. Build new pathways, stronger, freer, truer. Your mind is a garden. Tend it wisely. Plant the seeds of greatness, of resilience, of boundless possibility. Water them daily with attention and action. Pull the weeds of fear and doubt without mercy, but with compassion. Stand watch over your mind as a faithful gardener, knowing that what you cultivate today will feed the life you live tomorrow. There is no final arrival. There is only deeper and deeper awakening. There is only wider and wider freedom. Today is not just about thinking positive. It is about reclaiming sovereignty over the single most powerful instrument you possess, your mind. The world you experience is shaped first in the thoughts you entertain, the beliefs you cultivate, and the choices you make in the invisible spaces of your own consciousness. Choose wisely. Choose boldly. Choose love over fear, agency over helplessness, awakening over sleep. Today, you rewire your mind, not because you are broken, but because you are whole enough to know that you can grow beyond even your best self. Today, you reclaim your birthright, limitless growth, fueled by a limitless mind. Day 4. Cultivate unshakable presence. There is a rare and magnetic power in a person who is fully present. A person who enters a room without needing to dominate, who speaks without rushing, who listens with the full weight of their attention. Presence is not loud. It is profound. It is not a force you push onto others. It is an energy you embody, and others feel it without a word. Today, your task is not to become louder, stronger, or more impressive. Your task is to cultivate an unshakable presence, a quiet power that speaks for you before you even open your mouth. Presence begins within. It is born from a deep-rooted connection to yourself, to the moment, to what is real and alive right now. When you are disconnected from yourself, your presence weakens. You scatter your energy outward, worrying about how you are perceived, trying to impress, trying to control. But when you are anchored inside your own being, you move differently. You are not grasping for validation. You are radiating authenticity. Cultivating presence demands a slowing down. Not a slowing of ambition or movement, but a slowing of mind, of attention, of breath. Presence thrives when you are not rushing through life, but savoring it, moment by moment. It is a practice of deep listening, not just to others, but to yourself, to the subtle rhythms of your body, to the quiet currents of your mind, to the unspoken language of your heart. Today, begin by noticing how you move through space. Are your steps hurried or deliberate? Is your gaze distracted or attentive? Is your voice rushed or measured? Presence lives in the details, in a steady gaze, an unhurried breath, a grounded stance. These small, almost invisible shifts change the way you experience yourself and the way the world experiences you. True presence cannot be faked. It is not a performance, it is a return to yourself, stripped of pretense, stripped of performance. It requires you to be comfortable in your own silence, your own skin, your own company. It demands that you no longer seek to fill every gap with noise, every pause with chatter, every silence with distraction. To be fully present is to allow space to exist without rushing to fill it. Practice being still today, not just physically, but mentally. When you sit, truly sit. When you listen, truly listen. When you speak, speak with intention, not out of compulsion. Presence is sharpened by the discipline of attention. Where your attention goes, your energy follows. Scattered attention leads to scattered energy. Focused attention roots you like an ancient tree, calm, immovable, quietly commanding. There is immense strength in restraint, in choosing not to react immediately, in allowing space between stimulus and response, in giving yourself a breath, a pause, a moment to choose your words and actions consciously. This restraint is not weakness, it is mastery. It signals to yourself and to others that you are not a puppet of circumstance, but a sovereign being anchored in self-awareness. Presence also demands a cleansing of the internal noise. You cannot radiate stillness outward if you are at war within. Begin observing the internal dialogue that runs like background static in your mind. The self-criticism, the mental rehearsals, the imagined arguments. Notice them without judgment, but do not feed them. Presence grows in the space between thoughts. It is not something you manufacture. It is something you uncover by peeling away the distractions. The great teachers across traditions understood the power of presence. The Buddha's serenity, Christ's compassion, Lao Tzu's wisdom, all were born not from striving, but from deep being. They moved through the world not with force, but with an undeniable gravitational pull. People followed them not because they demanded loyalty, but because their very being offered a glimpse of something whole, something real, something deeply needed. You do not need to become a sage or a saint to cultivate such presence. You only need to begin where you are. Right now, with this breath, this body, this moment. Anchor yourself here. Feel your feet on the ground. Feel the air moving through your lungs. Feel the weight of your own aliveness, pressing gently against the inside of your skin. Every time your mind drifts into past regrets or future anxieties, gently guide it back. Presence is a muscle that strengthens with practice. The more you return to the now, the stronger your presence becomes. It is not about eliminating thought. It is about choosing where to rest your awareness. Your presence is your greatest influence. Long after your words are forgotten, people will remember how they felt in your presence. Did they feel seen, heard, respected? Did they feel hurried, judged, dismissed? Your energy communicates before your language ever does. To cultivate an unshakable presence, you must become deeply intimate with your own energy. You must learn to regulate it, to refine it, to expand it. Breathe deeply when tension rises. Ground yourself when anxiety stirs. Open your posture when fear whispers to close down. Move with the quiet confidence of someone who trusts their own ground, no matter how turbulent the world around them becomes. Presence is not about being perfect. It is about being real. Imperfectly, vulnerably, courageously real. It is about choosing authenticity over performance, depth over appearance, being overdoing. In a world addicted to noise, your silence becomes magnetic. In a world addicted to speed, your stillness becomes revolutionary. In a world addicted to superficiality, your depth becomes unforgettable. Today, move through the world as if you belong exactly where you are, because you do. Speak with the quiet authority of someone who needs no approval, because you don't. Listen with the full presence of someone who knows every being is worthy of attention, because they are. You are not cultivating presence to impress others. You are cultivating presence to remember yourself, to live aligned with your own breath, your own heart, your own soul. The journey to unshakable presence is the journey home. Walk slowly, breathe deeply, speak thoughtfully, love wildly, stand firmly, and let your very being be the loudest thing about you. Day 5. Master relentless action. There comes a moment in every journey of transformation when thought is no longer enough. Reflection, vision, and preparation are essential, but they are incomplete without the spark that turns potential into reality. Action. Relentless, consistent, imperfect action. Not the grand gestures fueled by fleeting motivation, but the quiet, steady beat of daily movement toward the life you are claiming. Today, you step into mastery of relentless action, the discipline of choosing progress over perfection, commitment over comfort, and momentum over inertia. Action is sacred. It is the bridge between the invisible and the visible, between the world that lives in your imagination and the one you shape with your hands. No matter how beautiful your dreams, they remain unborn until action calls them forth. Too many lives are lived half-fulfilled because action was delayed, diluted, or abandoned in favor of endless preparation. But you are not here to prepare endlessly. You are here to build. The mind will tempt you with excuses. It will whisper, "Wait until you are ready. Wait until you are certain. Wait until it feels right." But readiness is a myth. Certainty is a luxury. Feelings are fleeting. The path to mastery is paved not by those who waited for ideal conditions, but by those who acted amidst the imperfect, the messy, the unknown. Today, you must act as if your future depends on it, because it does. Every action you take is a vote for the person you are becoming. Every step, however small, moves you further from who you were and closer to who you are meant to be. Inaction is not neutral, it is regression. The longer you hesitate, the deeper the grooves of old patterns become, and the more your spirit withers under the weight of unexpressed potential. Action is not glamorous. It is often mundane, repetitive, uncelebrated. It is writing the page no one will read yet. It is making the call that may be ignored. It is showing up to the practice when motivation has long since left. But every act strengthens the muscle of self-trust. Every completion builds a foundation of inner certainty that cannot be taken from you. Today, you break the addiction to waiting. You move, you act, you ship the work, you speak the truth, you send the application, you write the page, you start the project, you confront the fear, you take the risk, you stop theorizing and start living. Understand that failure is not the enemy, hesitation is. Mistakes are not a mark of weakness, they are proof of engagement. The path of relentless action is messy, filled with missteps and corrections. But it is alive, it is real, it is forward movement, and it is infinitely more powerful than the most elegant plan left unexecuted. Do not seek to be perfect. Seek to be in motion. Do not seek to be admired. Seek to be effective. Do not seek to avoid failure. Seek to outgrow it. Let action become your meditation, your prayer, your rebellion against the inertia that keeps so many dreams buried. Commit to a simple mantra: I move forward, no matter what, no matter the weather of your mind, no matter the opinions of others, no matter the fluctuations of energy or emotion. You move forward because Movement is life, and stagnation is death. Small actions matter. The tiny disciplines, repeated daily, compound into greatness over time. A seed watered every day becomes a forest. A word written every day becomes a book. A step taken every day becomes a journey across continents. But you must begin. You must continue. You must refuse to stop when it gets hard, boring, or lonely. There is an ancient Zen saying, before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. The work does not end. The daily discipline remains. Enlightenment, transformation, mastery, they are not destinations you reach once and are done with. They are ways of walking, ways of being. You embody them through relentless, conscious action. Some days will feel easy, most days will not. There will be resistance, boredom, fatigue. There will be moments when the voice of doubt grows louder, urging you to stop, to delay, to hide. Acknowledge it. Smile at it. Move anyway. You must become a force that cannot be negotiated with. A spirit so committed to your becoming that no excuse, no setback, no external opinion can divert you. This is not about forcefulness. It is about faith. Faith that the process works if you work it. Faith that every seed you plant in action will, in time, bear fruit if you remain steadfast. Relentless action is not frantic activity. It is focused, intentional movement aligned with your deepest values. It is action guided by wisdom, not by panic. It is progress without self-violence. It is movement infused with purpose, fueled by devotion to your own unfolding. Today, ask yourself, what is one courageous action I can take right now? Then take it. No delay, no overthinking, no waiting for permission. Just movement, just life pouring through you into the world. Each act of courage strengthens you. Each step taken dissolves fear. Each moment of disciplined movement reshapes your identity from the inside out. This is how mountains are moved. This is how lives are transformed. This is how the impossible becomes inevitable. Not through bursts of brilliance, but through relentless, humble, courageous action, repeated again and again, until the world shifts around you to match the power of your commitment. You are not here to be a spectator to your own potential. You are here to build it, to embody it, to live it. Move forward. Move forward. Move forward. This is the way. Day 6. Build systems of inner mastery. Greatness is not built in moments of inspiration. It is not born from flashes of motivation or bursts of energy. It is forged in the quiet, repetitive acts that most people overlook. It is cultivated in the invisible systems that operate beneath the surface of daily life. Today, you are called not just to act, but to architect, to design systems that make excellence inevitable, systems that carry you forward even when willpower falters and motivation fades. Relying on motivation is like relying on the weather. It is unpredictable, unreliable, and beyond your control. Mastery belongs to those who understand this truth and who instead build structures that do not depend on fleeting feelings. Systems are the hidden scaffolding behind every sustained success. They are the routines, the habits, the environments that quietly but powerfully shape your trajectory. Building systems of inner mastery begins with a deep question: what environment best supports the person I am becoming? Success is not just about effort, it is about environment. It is about designing your internal and external worlds to make your highest choices the easiest ones. It is about removing friction from what you want to do and adding friction to what you wish to avoid. Begin by looking at your daily rhythms. Where does your time go? What pulls your attention away from what matters? Where do you leak energy through disorganization, distraction, or decision fatigue? Awareness of these patterns is the first step. Without judgment, map the terrain of your days. See clearly where you are currently living by default rather than by design. Then, slowly, patiently, begin to craft new patterns. Systems do not need to be elaborate. They need to be consistent. A 5-minute morning ritual that centers your mind. A workspace cleared of clutter that invites deep focus. A nighttime routine that signals your body to rest and repair. These small structures, repeated daily, create the foundation for extraordinary outcomes over time. Inner mastery demands systems that support emotional resilience as well. Build in practices that reconnect you to your center. Meditation, journaling, nature walks, deep breathing. These are not luxuries, they are lifelines. They are the practices that strengthen your inner infrastructure, allowing you to meet life's inevitable storms with grace rather than collapse. The Stoic philosophers understood this deeply. Marcus Aurelius journaled daily to align his actions with his values. Seneca wrote letters to sharpen his moral clarity. These were systems of inner maintenance, habits that kept their spirits aligned amidst the chaos of external life. Modern psychology confirms what ancient wisdom has long taught. Structure breeds freedom. Discipline creates space for creativity. Rituals anchor us amidst uncertainty. Your goal is to make your systems so natural that they no longer feel like discipline. They feel like breathing. When you automate excellence through systems, you free your energy for higher pursuits. You are no longer fighting yourself at every turn. You move through your days with a kind of quiet inevitability, a momentum that carries you even when you are tired or uncertain. Understand that systems are not prisons, they are pathways. They are not about rigidity, they are about flow. A river is free because it flows within banks. Without structure, water becomes stagnant or spills into chaos. In the same way, your life finds its fullest expression within structures that honor your deepest values. Today, begin by designing one simple system. Choose one area of your life where chaos reigns: your mornings, your work focus, your health habits, your emotional regulation. Create a system that simplifies it, clarifies it, strengthens it. Keep it small. Keep it doable. Complexity kills momentum. Simplicity sustains it. For example, if mornings are frantic, design a morning ritual. Wake up, drink water, move your body, sit in silence for 5 minutes, set your intentions. Do it every day until it becomes as natural as breathing. If focus is elusive, create a system. Clear your workspace, set a timer, work for 45 minutes, break for 15, repeat. Protect these systems as sacred. Systems also demand boundaries. Mastery requires saying no, often. No to distractions, no to unnecessary obligations, no to the endless pull of other people's priorities. Your time, your energy, your attention are sacred resources. Guard them fiercely. Build systems that protect your focus like a lion protects its young. Accountability strengthens systems. Share your commitments with someone you trust. Track your habits visually. Celebrate small wins. Not because you need external validation, but because the mind thrives on evidence of progress. Each small success builds the identity of someone who honors their commitments, someone who follows through, someone who trusts themselves. Resist the temptation to chase novelty. New systems feel exciting at first, but mastery is built in the boring repetition after the excitement fades. True growth happens not when you find the perfect system, but when you stick with a good enough system long enough for it to bear fruit. Consistency compounds. Trust the process. Also, be willing to refine your systems. Rigidity kills growth. Flexibility sustains it. If a system no longer serves you, adjust it. Systems are living structures. They evolve as you evolve. But never abandon the principle. Structure breeds freedom. Build frameworks that carry you forward, even when your feelings try to pull you back. Inner mastery is not a gift. It is a construction project. It is the result of small, daily, disciplined choices layered upon one another until they form an unshakable foundation. It is the quiet power of a life designed, not drifted into. Today, you lay bricks. You pour concrete. You plant seeds. It may not look like much yet. It may feel tedious. But trust this, the systems you build today will be the unseen engines of the life you are creating. One day, when others marvel at your strength, your clarity, your peace, you will know the truth. It was not a single moment of brilliance. It was the systems, the structure, the daily disciplines, chosen again and again when no one was watching, that built the life you now live. Build wisely. Build patiently. Build relentlessly. And your future will thank you. Day 7. Anchor your new identity for life. 7 days ago, you stood at the threshold of change. You dared to look into the mirror of your life and imagine a new reflection staring back. You dared to let go of old identities, old stories, old limits. You took the first courageous steps toward rebirth, and now, standing here, you are not the same. Your mind has expanded. Your body has awakened. Your presence has deepened. Your actions have built momentum. You have crossed a river that many only ever dream of crossing. But this is not the end of your journey. Today is about something even more important than change. Today is about anchoring. Today is about making your transformation permanent, not a fleeting inspiration. Identity is a living thing. It must be nurtured, protected, and reinforced every day, or else it will be reclaimed by the gravitational pull of the old. Change is not a single decision. It is 1,000 decisions made consistently, even when no one is watching. Especially then. The self you have awakened this week is like a young sapling, vulnerable but full of potential. Without attention, the winds of habit and comfort will bend it back into familiar shapes. With care, it will grow into a mighty tree whose roots run too deep to be shaken. The first step to anchoring your new identity is to claim it openly. Declare who you are now, not someday, not if everything goes perfectly, but right now. Say it aloud. Write it down. Own it in your posture, your tone, your choices. Do not speak of yourself as someone trying to change. Speak as someone who has already changed and who is simply living more fully into that reality each day. Language is powerful. The way you talk about yourself shapes the way you see yourself. Stop rehearsing the language of the old self. I'm trying, I hope to, maybe one day. Replace it with the language of certainty. I am, I choose, I live. Your words are spells. Cast them wisely. Anchoring your identity also means guarding your environment fiercely. Your environment includes your habits, your physical space, the people you allow close to you, the media you consume. Everything you surround yourself with either strengthens your new self or undermines it. Choose environments that mirror your highest standards. Choose relationships that celebrate your growth. Choose inputs that fuel your vision, not your fear. There is no neutral space. Every day, every interaction, every choice is either watering the new self or starving it. Become conscious of this. Protect your energy the way a gardener protects young plants from frost. Be ruthless in cutting away what no longer supports your flourishing. Your future depends on it. You must also anchor through ritual. Rituals are anchors in time, reminders of who you are and who you are becoming. A morning meditation, an evening gratitude practice, a weekly reflection, small, sacred acts that root your identity deeper with every repetition. Rituals turn good intentions into living realities. They transform abstract aspirations into embodied truths. Reflection is crucial. Growth without reflection becomes directionless. Set aside time weekly to review your journey. What actions aligned with your new identity? What slipped? What can you adjust? This is not a time for judgment, but for course correction. A ship does not reach its destination by setting a single course and forgetting it. It adjusts constantly, using feedback not as failure, but as guidance. Understand that the old self may still whisper from time to time. Habits have momentum. Neural pathways take time to rewire. Doubts will arise. Fears will flicker. Comfort will call. This is natural. It is not a sign you are failing. It is a sign that you are in transition. Do not panic. Do not fight. Simply notice the old voices without giving them authority. Smile at them. Thank them for their service. And walk on. Mastery is built in these moments. Not when it is easy, but when it would be easy to fall back and you choose instead to stand firm. Each time you honor your new identity in the face of old temptations, you deepen the roots of transformation. Gratitude is another anchor. Gratitude rewires the mind for abundance rather than lack. It roots you in what is working, what is possible, what is beautiful about your journey. Begin each day with gratitude for who you are becoming. End each day with gratitude for every small victory. Gratitude transforms the landscape of the mind, making growth feel natural rather than forced. Finally, realize this: there is no finish line. There is no moment when you will say, "I have arrived." Identity is not a destination, it is a direction. Awakening is not a one-time event, it is a lifelong unfolding. Today is not the culmination of your journey, it is the foundation of the life you are now building. You are a new person, not because you are perfect, but because you are awake. You are anchored, not because you will never face challenge again, but because you have learned to face it differently. You have chosen awareness over autopilot, intention over inertia, courage over comfort. This is rare. This is sacred. Honor it. Walk forward from today with reverence for your own journey. Walk with the quiet confidence of someone who knows that transformation is not a performance, but a practice. Walk with the humility of someone who knows that growth is endless, and the fierce joy of someone who knows that endless growth is the greatest adventure of all. Anchor yourself in action. Anchor yourself in reflection. Anchor yourself in community. Anchor yourself in rituals that renew your spirit daily. You are not who you once were. You are not yet all you will become. You are gloriously and irrevocably on the path. And that is everything. Conclusion: your journey beyond transformation. You have walked through fire and silence, through breath and battle, through surrender and fierce, unwavering action. In the space of 7 days, you have not merely changed, you have remembered the vastness that was always within you, the resilience hidden beneath old narratives, the light that no past failure could ever truly extinguish. This journey was never about becoming someone new. It was about peeling back the layers of forgetfulness to reveal the immense being you already are. Each step you took, letting go of the old self, forging strength through the body, rewiring the mind, cultivating presence, mastering action, building systems, and anchoring your new identity, was a thread woven into a larger tapestry. A tapestry of a life lived not by accident, but by deep intention. A life where discipline and freedom dance together. A life where your soul leads and your actions follow. A life where your presence touches the world around you, not through noise, but through quiet, undeniable gravity. You did not just complete a program. You crossed a threshold. You answered the ancient call that echoes through every soul. Awaken. Stand up. Live fully. Burn away what no longer serves. Plant seeds for the world you dare to imagine. This journey was a beginning, not a conclusion. It was a door flung open into a wider, richer, more courageous life. The road ahead will not always be smooth. There will be days when the winds of doubt howl louder, when the gravity of old patterns tries to pull you back into smaller shapes. That is natural. Growth is a spiral, not a straight line. But now you know the way forward. It is not mystery anymore. It is simply the daily, humble practice of returning to your breath, your body, your truth. One step at a time, one conscious choice after another. You carry now within you something unshakable, the memory of who you truly are. Let that memory guide you when the path grows dim. Let it steady you when the world tries to rush you. Let it call you back when fear whispers that it would be safer to shrink. You have seen the landscape beyond limitation. You have tasted the waters of your own infinite potential. That cannot be undone. It can only deepen. As you continue your unfolding journey, know that you are not alone. All across the world, there are others waking up, rising quietly, moving with greater presence, living with fiercer love. You are part of something larger than yourself. Every step you take toward your true self ripples outward, touching lives you may never meet, healing fractures you may never see. If this journey has stirred something true within you, if it has helped you remember the light you carry, I invite you to stay connected. Subscribe to this channel so that we can continue to walk this path together. Share this video with someone who may be standing at their own threshold, unsure but longing for change. Leave a like if these words have resonated, and explore the other videos that await you, each crafted as another stepping stone on your awakened pathway. You are no longer standing at the beginning. You are in motion, alive, fierce, soft, awake. Let your life be the masterpiece that only you can create. Let your days be temples, your breath be prayers, your steps be songs of remembrance. This is not the end. It is the horizon unfolding endlessly before you. Walk on,